It's a bear. Good morning. Hey, what's up? This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metal, and thank God it's Friday. I could use a break. Don't know about you. Got the Miami live coral cam up today. Not too many fishes down there. I just wanted something a little different. I kept running that Deerfield live cam all the time. And just a little change up for today. Always nice to have a change up. Well, speaking of change ups, let's take a look at the markets today and see what's happened. And where do we go here? Let me just get out of that screen real quick. And here we go. Spot prices. Silver kind of got a little whacked a little bit earlier. 22.91. I thought I saw a low a little bit lower than that, but maybe not. 22.91 to 23.35. The high overnight. Seems to be kicked down in the morning. Again, I didn't look early, but it seems to be mostly the mornings. It seems to be kicked down a little bit, and then in New York, it gets hit on just a tad. But you know, it's really just popping around that 23 range, testing a little bit below that. Could it go lower? Sure, it could, but still, man, what a great buying opportunity this is. Let's take a look at gold first, though. We're going to talk about silver in a little bit, and a couple interesting things. Gold-silver ratio, I think, is something interesting to look at right now, and what does that tell us, perhaps? And also some good news, some jail time. I like to hear jail time, and I'll tell you who and how and why. Let's quickly just, and I'll also give you some tips on what the best deals are at the end of the show, which I always do. Well, let's take a look at gold. As I said, 1779.37, a low overnight since yesterday's New York close, and a high of 1788.94. It's kind of hanging right in that range. It's just a little bit below that 1800 level. It's tested that 1800 a couple times here, but still no real monkey hammering since that last Sunday night smackdown that we saw about 2 weeks ago. And the bloodletting. Silver just kind of creeping down slowly. I have noticed that it's mostly done in New York. It looks like the markets seem fairly strong in the evening, and then New York it kind of gets hammered a little bit, a few cents, 5 cents, 10 cents. It's been happening over the last few weeks. You know, keeping it from that mid-high 23s down to where we're at right now, 23.16. However, it is Friday. It is Monkey Hammer Friday, and if you're going to drop it a few more cents, Friday's the day to do it. And it looks like they did this morning. 22.91 again. 23.35 was a high. I think that was last night, overnight trading. Again, I believe the monkey hammering happened early this morning and in the opening throughout the day for the last week or so. Platinum 999.63, a low of 972, a high of 999. So staying in that $1,000 range, super cheap. I think platinum's a great deal, folks. I suggest buying it at these levels for sure. Palladium, I have no idea what keeps it at that level. I think it's just simply the mafia, the cartel, the platinum cartel that does that. South Africans, Canadians, and Russians. They control that whole trading pit in palladium and platinum, I believe, as well. The white metals, as they call them, except for silver. And we all know who controls silver. It's the big shorts. I think it's the 8 or the 4 big shorts now. I forget. I think it's 4 big shorts out there that do that primarily at the moment. And JPM is not one of them. But we're going to talk about JPM in a moment as well. Let's move along to not much to see. You all been watching the spot prices here. I think it's going to close. You know, based on what I've been seeing, we're going to close closer to $23 an ounce, I believe, at the end of the day. I mean, that could change. Maybe we did already see the low for the day, but we could trade a little bit lower than this. And all bets are off on Monday, on Sunday night. And by the way, I still haven't checked when Powell's going to, he's going to jawbone next, because that could be the next monkey hammering. Could be. You know, again, not every Powell speech, and they don't monkey hammer it all the time. And of course, that's part of the game as well. Let's move along to something I wanted to talk about. I think it's pretty cool because it tells me one thing or another, folks. With gold at currently we're looking right here, 1784, and silver at 23. I did the math here. It's going to be slightly off from where it was, and let's just take a look. I'd do a quick refresh. We're currently at, right now, I did the math, 77.5, thereabouts, give or take a little bit, probably take a little bit right now. Give or take just a small percentage, but 77.5 more or less to 1 on the gold to silver ratio right now. Now, if you look, I believe that, look at the peak right here. Now, this was during the closures and stuff like that. I believe it was as high as 120 to 1. I'm pretty sure. I'm not quite sure what prices they're using. I've always noticed that all the graphs are off slightly on the highs for some reason. Maybe it has something to do with Is it the log scale? I don't think so, but let's take a look. Nope, not the log scale. Maybe, again, just the closings, but I saw it as high as 120 to 1 at one point. And look at that, was April 2020 when it was at its high. And intraday, I think it was 120 to 1 at one point. So where has it gone from there? And what's happened to the price of gold and silver? Well, silver shot up dramatically during this point when we had this huge uptick in disparity in the price of gold, in the gold to silver ratio. And look where we're heading again. The average has been around, I think, well, let's see, it's tough to say. Let's look at the 30 years. And let's see where the average, I mean, again, we're going to just eyeball what we're going to call the average. I'd say the average is probably closer to that 60 to 1 area. And forgive me for my phone ringing, folks. Let me just turn that off for a second. Sorry about that. I think the average has been, well, gosh, it's getting a little hard to draw an average through this line right here. But let's say 60, 65 to 1 or so if we were to take, again, just eyeballing an average here. However, again, look at April 2020, and look where this line is heading to. It's heading back up again. I believe this is a sign that either A, and I've said it, there's two things that I see here with this disparity. A, either gold is too high and silver is well, hold on. Either gold is too high and silver is too low, or silver is or gold I'm totally lost my train of thought there. Oh, who's on first? Gold is too high and silver is too cheaper or too cheap. So I believe that at some point it's going to get back. Gold's either going to come down to even out this ratio a little bit to where it's been, or silver is going to rise up to it. But meanwhile, we could have this spike like this. And I believe that is when gold, this April 2020, right about then, was during the closures, and it was when gold went to, it was going up to that 1700, 1800, 1900 level and getting up to its all-time high there to a little bit over $2,000 or something like that, or close to its all-time high, I think. And silver was just kind of lagging behind. It was still in that less than $20 range, 15, 17, and that's why this huge 115 to 1 ratio you're looking at is there. It's because of this huge disparity. And what happened to close this disparity was the price of silver shot up substantially to meet gold, or to rise up to the price of gold. And this shot down the gold to silver ratio substantially back to where we hit our low again. When was this? February 2021. And I forget what the prices were. I could look real quickly, but I'm not going to. It was around 65 to 1, which was maybe close to where I think what I said our average norm should be if you're given this 30-year chart here. However, again, we're heading back up that chart. We're heading back up to that higher gold and silver ratio. And I feel that, again, either gold's too high or silver's too cheap, one or the other. Gold's either, based on what I'm looking at this ratio, gold's either too high and it's going to come down some to meet the price of silver, or silver's too low and it's going to rise up to meet the price of gold. Now, based on what happened last time, silver's too cheap. Okay, that's kind of what it looks like based on this chart right now. Silver's too cheap. We could continue to see this disparity right here, but I think you're going to see the price of silver start to rise here because, again, it happened before that way, and I'm not going to say it happens that way all the time, but the gold to silver ratio right now just simply tells me that either gold's too high and it's going to come down a little bit, or silver's too cheap and it's going to go back up a little bit. Of course, both could happen too, and that's a possibility as well. But gold seems to be showing some really good strength at this 1780 level, unless, of course, again, they jawbone it and knock it down on Sunday or prior to Powell's talk again. But I just don't see them doing that kind of knockdown anytime soon that they did again. Or did last Sunday. However, never underestimate the power of the people that have the printing press. I mean, they make the rules, they are the casino. That's my thought on that. So let's move over here to Zero Hedge, just take a look and see if there's any news I want to talk about. Good article by VBL here, and he talks more about the technical aspects of precious metals, and but he also goes into some personal opinion and things like that. One of the things that I wanted to, where is that little article? Gold today, and this was interesting to me. A nice little comment by VBL. Gold today, with absolutely nothing going on gold, is up $4, and silver is down again 5 cents. Maybe this is noise, but we do not think so. The market is increasingly telling onlookers that someone is covering gold paper shorts while increasing silver shorts. Peter is being robbed to pay Paul. Interesting thought. I didn't even think of it from that particular angle, or perhaps I have. There's so many angles to look at this from, but good comment by BBO here. And he says we spoke about this yesterday with Bob Coleman, owner of the Gold and Silver Vault. And let's see what Bob Coleman said. An excellent overview of what a deleveraged environment means for gold. The floor is raised, starts around 240 mark. This is critical to understand when the impact of silver can have. More technical stuff here. However, you can read this on Zero Hedge, and it's in brief, gold continues to defy dollars. I suggest you read it. Probably some good weekend reading as well. Let's move along to some other articles that are posted in here. Mostly, again, political, and I'm going to avoid political. Here. I'm so sick of it. Let me just kind of scroll down here and see if there's anything I feel that will have impacts on the precious metals or any kind of significant. I think everything political and economic has an impact on precious metals, but I'm going to look for things that are a little more specific and directly important to us. Let's take a look here. Not too much, and again, I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to go through all this before and look at all these different articles, but not too much there. Well, I'm going to move on to the next subject. I said I was kind of happy to see someone, jail time for someone, and happy and not happy here. This is basically what I've been saying for quite some time when it comes to these people that manipulate all these markets. When they manipulate the gold and silver markets, they manipulate equity stock markets, they manipulate bond markets. They create these giant bubbles. And, a lot of people can really say, a lot of people like here, this cartoon will blame Wall Street. However, it really is all about the central bankers. The central bankers encourage these guys. They really do. It's like kids in a candy store. What do you expect? When the Fed hands out money and the Fed, the central banks rule the world. These guys are just the preferred players. They're like the elite club at the, whatever you call them, the gold club at the casinos, where they have special players that they make special room for. That's exactly what these guys. They are not the casino. Wall Street's not the casino. The central banks are the casino. These guys are just the top echelon players. And let's see, what was I happy about? I was happy about reading this in gata.org. Former J.P. Morgan monetary metals traders must face racketeering charge, judge says. Now that surprises the hell out of me because I've been saying since they got caught, which was a little while ago, that they're not going to go to jail, or it's unlikely they go to jail. And I did say many times in the past that if someone goes to jail, it'll be low-level traders, not the Jamie Demon, and I made the word demon up, and his henchmen, even though they made billions probably by these manipulations from their low-level traders. They're too big to jail, too big to fail, too big to jail. And that's what I mean when I'm talking about too big to fail and too big to jail. Those guys, the CEOs of the companies, the people that direct these traders to do that. However, I'm sure there was no direct contact between Jamie and these traders. Therefore, he can say he knew nothing about it. And that's complete bullshit, folks. If anyone should be facing charges, in my opinion, it should be the CEOs of these companies involved in the manipulation. And, the traders too as well. But the CEO should definitely be the primary conspirator, conspirators here. Without a doubt, in my opinion. Let's read this real quick. Former JP monetary metals traders must face racketeering charge, judge rules. A federal judge in Chicago said this week 4 former JP Morgan Chase & Company employees must face charges, including racketeering, and a case accusing them of manipulating the prices of precious metals. U.S. District Judge Edmund Chang's ruling today, and thank you. It's nice to see a ruling like that, Mr. Chang. I appreciate that very much. I believe you saw something going on there, and you're doing the right thing. Tuesday paves the way for an October 19th trial in the case, which the U.S. Department of Justice, oh God, that's who's fighting the case. We're in trouble now. They'll probably let them off. Sorry, I shouldn't say that. Let's see what happens. Most aggressive attempt so far to police commodity spoofing, a tactic involving placing orders to move prices and quickly canceling them. We've seen this happen so many times, folks. I can't even tell you in my lifetime how many times I've seen this stuff happen. It's nice to see someone finally go to jail for it, but as I said, it's not the right people going to jail, or not all the correct people going to jail. It should be the CEOs of these companies as well. They are responsible for what their traders do, and the buck stops there. But it's obviously too big to fail, too big to jail. So let's move along to the rest of the article. Prosecutors allege that the former Global Precious Metals desk head Michael Nowak, traders Greg Smith and Christopher Jordan, and poor salesperson Jeffrey Rufo, manipulated the prices of gold. He's probably the low guy in the totem pole, of silver and palladium between 2008 and 2016. We can read the remainder of this report here, and let's just kind of click it. It's on Reuters. Corporate media Reuters. Oh, we'll read it anyway. And let's take a look down here. And spoofing. Chang also allowed the other 11 charges to stand, including market manipulation, spoofing, conspiracy, and commodities and wire fraud. He cited other spoofing cases in which judges allowed prosecutors to pursue those as well. Good to hear. I'm glad to hear this guy is being aggressive. This judge is, at least. Let's see what happens. The judge did not, however, throw out bank fraud charges against Smith, and saying prosecutors had not pinpointed how or when they sought to deceive J.P. Morgan. Interesting. JP agreed to pay $920 million, almost $1 billion. But remember, folks, this is when JP got out of the spoofing business, we think. And I think they've gotten out of their positions, their short positions in silver as well. So JPM, I don't believe, is one of the short positions in silver. I think they've already filled their short paper positions with real physical silver. JPM's, I believe, is pretty much done. They've already filled up their vaults. They're going to wait for the other short positions to kind of do the same thing, I think, and then they're all going to watch the price of silver, or they're going to manipulate the price of silver upward as well. Manipulation goes both ways, folks. So, and it's not always going to go down. When they get their positions filled and they can make enough money off it, those short positions are going to go the opposite direction. And let's see, I wonder who they're going to leave holding the bag. It won't be us, that's for sure. Let's take a look at yesterday's video, and appreciate everybody watching, and I appreciate all the and by the way, if you haven't already, please hit the subscribe button and the like button. I really appreciate that. We talked about greed as the tool, and a couple few things we were talking about yesterday is well, anyway, let's take a look and see if there's any questions. You can watch yesterday's show. I don't need to spend 10 minutes telling you about it. Let's see. Speaking of fishes, something that smells fishy. Oh, okay, you bought some more silver. That don't smell fishy to me. You bought $12 today, same price, stuck on 23. Anyway, good luck with buying silver. There's all kinds of weird stuff out there, Joey. Appreciate you watching. Appreciate all you folks watching. I'm just looking for any questions. Can you take a $50 gold double eagle, Heart of Texas asks, to an airport and leave the USA? They're only $20 face value. I don't believe you could. I believe that, again, whoever makes the rules is going to determine that that's a way of trying to sneak out large amounts of gold, and they're not stupid, They're going to figure that they're not going to let you sneak it out for face value. I highly doubt it. However, you could probably get a good lawyer and make a great case about it, and maybe even win it. But do you want to do that? That's the question. Thanks for watching, Heart of Texas. And William says, I swear the Treasury has a front door and back door. Most of the money is going out the back door. It's not going out the back door. Most of the money is going into gold, into their vaults. That's what those guys do. Is they put gold in their vaults. They load their vaults up with gold. And everyone knows that central bankers have been buyers of gold. They've been increasing their gold positions. Everyone knows that London is worried about all that leased gold that they have. That's what GATA.org talks about. And COMEX doesn't really have gold on hand. They just sell paper products, more or less. What would you call it? Unallocated paper is what COMEX works with in gold and silver. So that's not a real deal either. Boy, where was I going with it? It's all one big, one big game, one big casino. And again, it's exactly our markets entirely. Gold and silver is not the only market like that. I'm talking about all the markets. Some of them even worse than gold and silver markets are one big casino. And the casino is the central bank that runs, and the people that play that work the games. The casino is the bank, okay? And you've got your players, and you've got the people that run the tables. And Wall Street are the people that runs the tables. COMEX runs the tables. LBMA runs the table, but they are not the bank. and we are the players. So really, the casino, the bank favors, or not favors, the casino, the bank more or less owns the games. They own the games, and they own the people that run the games. So they work together very, very closely, and we are the players. So if you know how the game is rigged, you got to just know that they manipulate it, and you're not part of their club. Wow, I really went off on that one. I'm sorry about that. It's been a long night for me and a long day. Celtic Knot says, when the market crashed 320 after the power spun the new normal, silver became scarce really fast. Still amazed that 17 months later, the scam continues. The Ponzi persists due to public consensus. Well, that's probably true, but more and more people were waking up, and I think videos like mine and a lot of the videos that you see out there that talk about the manipulation, and professional websites by professional people like gata.org that can show you who does it and how they do it, and show you the numbers and show you the math and the data and the science behind it. There's no denying that. So yeah, I think that the more that this information gets out there, and the more that I share it with you, and you're sharing with me and other people, that this will not last. And what else? Any other questions there? Not really. Thanks for watching, Tree Climber, and all you other folks. Again, I really appreciate it. Let's take a look at what the best deals are out there. I'm going to grab my sheet still and just take a quick look. And best deals out there are definitely, without a doubt. However, we personally have a couple week wait on the Valcombi 100-ounce bars. We've got a slight delayed delivery on them, but those are the best deal out there right now. I can sell Valcombi silver 100-ounce bars for spot plus $3 or less, depending on the quantities that you're buying. What else? The next best deal out there is going to be 10-ounce bars, which we do have availability of. Those are going to be spot plus $3.50 or less per ounce. And 1 ounce rounds should be spot plus $3.75 or less are out there. We advertise to be APMEX, JM, and SD Bullion, which are great companies. However, we're local, and they're not. And we always advertise. We always tell people, try to buy local if you can. It's really important. For many reasons. It keeps the money in your town, keeps the money in your area. And if any one of those, JM, SD, or Amex Bullion is in your backyard or they're in your neighborhood, sure, go spend money over there, because those guys contribute to their communities. However, again, keep that money local if possible. I can't tell you how important that is. And then it's pretty easy to beat these big companies as well as for local small dealers. We don't have the overhead they do, and we have one other advantage we can offer, which is personal advice. Unfortunately, they can't do it. So lots of good reasons to buy local and not buy online for sure. And what's good deals in gold out there? I think the best deals in gold are any kind of coins that you can get for less than $100 per ounce premium. Bars are under that $80 mark right now, and availability is still good. Products that are over $100 premium per ounce on gold, I just don't recommend. I mean, there's some pretty stuff out there, but Eagles are still overpriced in my opinion, as are some other products. Again, try to keep your premiums under $100 on gold if possible. $80 or less is even better. Same thing with silver. Try to keep your prices under that $4 mark. Under that, the further you get to $3 and $2, the better off you are as well. Try not to pay more than a $4 and $5 premium for silver, please. Well, that's really about it. Other than buy local, there's not much I can say other than have yourself a great weekend. And I really appreciate you watching. Again, make sure you hit and subscribe to that button. I've been told, I've had a lot of calls recently that said that some algos must have changed on YouTube, because a lot of the people that used to get my show all the time and get the updates and say, I guess there's an update thing that says there's a new video by me. They said that they haven't been getting any updates on my videos at all. So I think there's some kind of weird thing going on with the algos, because I've gotten multiple phone calls about that. I'm not getting your videos updated anymore. Well, however, please like and share my videos and subscribe, and I do appreciate that very much. That's really about it. This is Brian Kuzmar with Commercial Rare Coins and Precious Metals in beautiful Lauderdale by the Sea. Call me anytime at 954-493-8811 between the hours of 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. Mondays through Fridays. Happy to help you out with whatever questions you have and point you to what the best deal is of the day. Hey, thanks again for watching, and have yourself a great weekend. Bye now.